archetype. And like, I think in a lot of ways, that's the Charlie thing to the furthest extreme.
Like, you want me to buy, this is not fucking the global fucking Academy Awards. I don't know what you got going on, sis. So I used to, I'm angry. I want to make you angry, because if I can convince myself I'm angry, I'm psychologically thinking that you're convinced I'm angry. And so
whispers, it's just, I've never heard any human being communicate like that. And I've seen a lot of people in these situations.
When news broke that Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, had been shot dead by a 22-year-old named Tyler James Robinson, the world didn't just mourn, it froze. Because Charlie wasn't just another public figure, he was a symbol. To millions, he was faith in motion, an unshakable voice against chaos. But to others, he was power incarnate. And power never dies quietly. The footage that surfaced afterward painted two stories, one of tragedy and one of silence. In the days that followed, Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, stood before cameras wrapped in black, her words measured, her eyes glassy. God's plan, she whispered. A nation of believers wept with her. But online, whispers began to multiply. People weren't buying divine mystery anymore. They wanted answers.
Don't say it like that. I know what you're trying to say, but don't ever say, when I go into a cockpit, I hope that the pilot, if he's black, is qualified.
On an ordinary episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, what started as a casual conversation spiraled into something much darker. Joe leaned into the mic, his tone sharper than usual. "The whole thing feels off," he said. "You don't just lose a guy like Charlie without questions." Across from him sat Andrew Schulz, comedian, provocateur, and chaos magnet. He smirked. "You mean to tell me this wasn't random? That someone wanted Charlie gone?" Joe didn't flinch. He just nodded. Slow, deliberate, unsettling. That clip exploded. Within hours, Joe Rogan, Charlie Kirk trended across every platform. Reddit lit up like a crime scene. Threads flooded in. Eyewitnesses, sources close to the family, and even self-proclaimed insiders. Some blamed politics, others whispered about betrayal. But one theory rose above them all, that Erica Kirk herself wasn't just a widow. She was part of something far larger.
If fucking the people that are on those Hallmark shows are run for their money, give me a break. Give me a that it does about me.
Days turned into weeks, and Erica began to change. The soft, grieving tone in her early interviews evolved into something colder, confident, rehearsed. Her Instagram posts shifted from mourning verses to leadership quotes. "From pain comes power," one read. Another showed her stepping into Charlie's old office, her hand resting on his desk. Was this healing, people asked, or a takeover? But beneath the noise, there was something even more chilling: timing. Charlie's final recorded conversation, never meant for public release, surfaced in fragments. Leaked audio, a voice memo. You could hear him, restless, angry. "They're closing in. I can't trust anyone, not even her." No one knew who her was, until the final seconds of the clip when his tone cracked. "If anything happens to me, tell Joe." The world listened, Joe listened, and for a brief moment, the line between truth and paranoia disappeared. Now people weren't just asking how Charlie died. They were asking who was pulling the strings. Was Erica an innocent woman caught in the storm of her husband's empire? Or was she quietly steering it long before he fell?
The day Charlie Kirk was murdered, I said, what is she doing? Other than grifting, what else would you call that? If you're going, and I say to myself, your husband was worth tens of millions of dollars. Why are you grifting and asking for?
The days following Joe Rogan's statement changed everything. What began as a whisper turned into a war of narratives. On one side, a grieving widow holding her late husband's legacy together. On the other, a digital mob convinced she was the reason that legacy collapsed. Erica Kirk went silent. Her team stopped responding to requests. No more interviews, no more posts, just silence. But silence, in the age of exposure, is a scream waiting to be heard. Then came the footage. An anonymous email hit Rogan's producers late one night. No name, no origin, just a drive. Inside, a 7-second clip. Erica, in a dimly lit parking lot, talking to a man in a gray hoodie. No audio, no context, just one frame that caught her expression. Cold, alert, calculating.
Point, let's say family, but I want you guys all to see the Medal of Freedom and be able to look at it in the back of it. You guys are all part of the legacy. So the ending on the back, it's the first and last time they'll put a cross on it.
The internet didn't wait. Theories exploded. That's the shooter. That's her fixer. That's nothing, just bad lighting. But in conspiracy culture, truth doesn't matter. Emotion does. And the emotion was weaponized. Rogan hesitated. For days, he refused to air it. He told his audience, this isn't a movie, it's someone's life. But deep down, even he knew. It was too late. The narrative had already escaped. When he finally addressed it again, his tone had shifted. You know what's scary? He said. We may never know the truth, because truth now belongs to whoever tells it louder. Across the country, Erica finally broke her silence. A polished video appeared on her social media. Cinematic lighting, carefully written script, tears forming right on cue. I've lost the love of my life, and the world is trying to take what little I have left.
Coached, if this wasn't pre-rehearsed, I don't know what else would. This is hitting all the hallmarks of doing three very important components. One, drawing you into her emotion. I believe she's a honeypot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe she's 100% honeypot. I don't believe that marriage was real whatsoever. I don't know how many of you guys want to see the one fucking word that she says. Nothing about this conversation is relevant to show me just how much you give a shit about this person. I'm sorry. You'd be talking about the first time I met him. I remember when I met Charlie. I remember where he was. I remember, like, has no one ever heard a fucking eulogy before?
Joe Rogan.
It was perfect. Too perfect. Analysts tore it apart frame by frame. Voice inflections, background objects, even the clock's shadow on the wall. Every detail was dissected. A team of Reddit users claimed the reflection of a teleprompter was visible in her eyes. Another claims she was wearing Charlie's watch, the same one listed as missing in the police report. The lines blurred further when Turning Point USA released a statement naming Erica as the new acting chair. Her first executive order? A total audit of Charlie's final projects and financial files. To continue his mission, she said. But those who knew Charlie said he'd never have allowed it. That night, Rogan went live again. This isn't about politics anymore, he told his audience. It's about control. When one voice disappears, another replaces it. And sometimes it's the one that silenced the first.
Andrew Schulz chimed in later. It's the oldest story in the book, man. Behind every great man is a woman waiting for her turn. He smirked, but no one laughed. As the narrative spiraled, something eerie began to happen. Erica's followers grew rapidly. Millions of new supporters flooded her pages, calling her the Phoenix of Faith. Her image, once fragile and broken, now glowed with power.
Her tone in interview sharpened, her words deliberate. Charlie gave his life for a cause. I'll finish what he started. But the question no one could answer was, whose cause was she really finishing? Weeks later, a small independent journalist uncovered something chilling. Financial transfers made from Charlie's private foundation, dated 2 days before his death. The recipient? A company registered under Erica's maiden name. The story was buried within hours. The journalist's post was deleted. Her account vanished. The silence returned. And as the world moved on, Joe Rogan left his audience with one final thought. Maybe Charlie's death wasn't about murder. Maybe it was about replacement. You don't need to kill a man to erase him. You just need to rewrite the story.